I'm Kathy Bissell. Welcome to the Golf Show 2.0. Today, our guest is The Ranking, but you might recognize him as Gary Van Sickle, who's with Sports Illustrated. And he has a new ranking idea for this week. Take it away, Gary.
Yeah, I'm the artist formerly known as The Situation. You may have seen me on that TV show, but I'd like to not discuss my past. This week's
Good.
ranking, which will be available, you can see the story at si.com, is about the best golfers of the 21st century based only on what they've done since 2000. Nothing before counts, nothing in the future counts because we don't know what's going to happen yet. Well, actually, I would, but my DeLorean's in the shop, so I can't actually take a trip right now. But the point is, would Tiger Woods still rank number one based only on the 21st century results? It's probably a pretty easy question, but we're going to save that spoiler alert for the end. We're going to count down from 10 like they do in all those horrible MTV shows where they rank the best bands of all time, and somehow Guns N' Roses is ahead of the Beatles.
No.
Which we know is wrong.
No, it's wrong.
Enough about rock music. Let's go right to the golf. Number 10, best player of the 21st century. It's a tie, Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. Spieth, 3 majors, 13 wins. Thomas, 2 majors and 15 wins. What do you think about that, Kathy?
You would usually give me grief for putting 2 people into one category, so I'll do that. But those 2 guys have done very well for themselves, and were kind of the lead edge of a new group of players to come out and win right away, which was a shock to everybody who was older than they are. And that happened for quite a while, and now everybody's the same age as they are or younger than they are, so they have to get their act together.
Yeah, they're both 30, and Spieth hasn't won a major in 6 years.
Ooh. Well,
so that's a little concerning.
Luckily for Justin, he won his second one, so he doesn't have to worry about that anymore, and I think the relief from that is probably accounts for the not great play in the last few months. But
yeah, he's in a minor slump, but I'm not concerned about that. I'm more concerned that Spieth has only won, I think, twice in the last couple of years. So he's in a slowdown, not a slump.
Yeah. He's had life-changing stuff going on, though. Getting married, having babies, all that kind of stuff, getting a new house or something. So. Okay, who's 9?
Yeah, watching Texas, not be that good in football. That's disturbing.
That's probably
that's probably at the root of his problem.
That is.
Number 9 is the cup-spitting, shoe-heaving, tantrum-throwing Sergio Garcia.
Wow.
Only won 11 times in the U.S. One of them was a Masters, though, which an event even he thought he'd never win.
Right.
But he was a superstar in Europe. He won 20 international wins, most of them on the European Tour. Great Ryder Cup player. I mean, he's got the most points, I think, or close to it. He's really been a remarkable career, even though I don't think he's an American fan favorite.
Well, there are a lot of people that like Sergio, and I have liked Sergio. He was so endearing early, and I think you were there in 1999 when he finished second to Tiger Woods, and he was standing outside the media center and talking to several of us media types, and he said, "I'm sorry, I have to take this call. It's the king." And he didn't mean Elvis had come back. He meant the king of Spain. So 9 is not a bad place for Sergio there.
Yeah, he deserves it. Golf, he never mastered golf the way he wanted, and it gets on his nerves, and it makes him a little chippy at times. But he's done a lot of good things in real life, so we'll give him that one. Number 8, Padraig Harrington.
Oh, a Champions Tour player. How come Padraig?
Well, he's got 3 major titles, won 20 international times, only won 6 times on the PGA Tour, but That's a lot of wins. You know, the ranking generally counts each major win as four to five regular, being worth 4 to 5 regular wins. So 3 majors, that's another 12 to 15 wins.
And he's played over here for a surprisingly long period of time. We forget how long he's played. I think it's
Yeah.
since 2005
Well,
or 6 or something. And
yeah, and
once
I
he,
think he was only won three PGA Tour events that weren't majors. So um, he's better. He's one of those guys who's better in majors than in low scoring tour events where you got to shoot 20 under.
okay, I can see that. All right, 7.
Your friend and John Garrity's friend, Vijay Singh.
Oh, everybody's friend Vijay Singh. Well,
One of his majors was in the 90s, but I think 26 wins, 2 majors. And look, he had 9 wins one year in the middle of the Tiger era and took the #1 ranking away from Tiger in his prime. Never got enough credit for that
did
because
he
he's not media friendly.
did he tie Sam Snead with the number of victories over 40 or something? I can't remember if he did or not. I think he did.
I think he might have beaten Snead.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what happened to him. He just decided when he was 40, he was going to be Superman, and he went out and won a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, well, he's got a good short game. His putter was always the club that held him back. If he could have putted well, oh my gosh, he'd have been lights out. But
Well, he beat up the turf at TPC Sawgrass. They had to go out and regrass the course in the practice area after he was done. I'm kidding.
Did he get banned? Did he get banned, or did they just tell him to quit ruining the range? I don't remember. Something like that. He didn't get banned, but they told him, "You're ruining the range." Hey, man's got to practice. Come on. He really should have been one of the great Cinderella stories in the history of golf, coming from tiny island of Fiji.
Yeah.
But you need the media to help you with that, and he didn't make it easy to do that. So, but he can be a great guy. I would love to sit around and talk golf with him for an hour.
He probably has many funny stories.
Oh yeah, he is. Everybody tells you he's a good guy, but he just doesn't like the media thing, doing the media thing, which understandable. All right, number 6, your good friend Ernie Els.
Oh,
He won both of his U.S. Opens in the 90s, so they don't count here. But he got handed 2 British Opens. He won. You won that 4-way? Did he win the 4-way playoff? Yeah.
I just remember he won one when it was raining sideways in the wave of players that he was not in. Yeah. He was in the good wave, and a bunch of people. I think Tiger was in the bad wave.
Tiger caught the.
It was a sideways
mini hurricane.
Yeah.
5-hour mini hurricane, and and he was going to win the Grand Slam this year. I had no doubt. So Ernie was beneficiary of that, but he won a playoff. I think Thomas Levitt was in the playoff. Stuart Appleby, and I think it was another Australian. Elkington, I think, was in that.
Well,
anyways, Ernie's got a lot of wins in the 2000s. You kind of think of him as a 90s guy.
Yeah, because his first victory was Oakland, the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he still had 12 wins in the 12 wins and 22 international wins in the 21st century. That's pretty darn good.
Plus, he's just a gentleman from start to finish. He's a lovely human being.
We're not ranking good guys here. We're ranking players.
I am.
Well, good for you.
Speaking of good guys, you have yet to mention you have 2 Champions Tour players in there already. 3 champions. How many Champions Tour players? You had
Padraig and Vijay and Ernie. 3 in a row.
3.
Here.
And you have not mentioned Steve Stricker, who's from one of your hometowns area in Wisconsin. How come Steve Stricker is not anyplace on your list?
He might have been number 11 on my rankings.
Did he have 11?
He had 11 wins in the 2000s on the PGA Tour.
Well, he's been in my senior rankings for quite some time. He's
led them
in
do senior rankings? Tell me more. Tell the world about your rankings that they don't know about.
I've been doing senior rankings since 2002, and Steve Stricker has led at the end of the season in 1920, I think 21, and he's leading right
If
now.
he's not leading right now after winning 3 out of the
No, I don't know. He's
5 majors,
definitely
something's
winning
wrong.
right now.
Yeah,
He's leading by a bunch.
he's won 16 times as a senior, but we're not talking. I'm not talking about senior golf. I'm talking about regular golf. If you're going to include senior results, we might as well include the Sunday afternoon couples league and not the Fred couples league, the other regular couples league. But yeah, I think Steve might have been. He might have been number 11 number 12. Well, I had two guys. I had a field entry at number 10. Steve would
Well,
probably be number 12.
if he hadn't been sick, he might have won even more. Although maybe being sick made him realize, hey, I don't have forever. I need to win a lot fast. So he's been
Well,
on a
there's a strong suspicion among Steve and a lot of his friends that he got the heart problems related to taking the COVID vaccination, which turns out to be far more prevalent than
anybody knew.
They let on. So, but there's no way to prove that. But that's kind of what he thinks. All right, number 5. He's only got 9 wins. 5 of them are major championships. Brooks Koepka.
Oh, him.
Got to give him credit for. I mean, he wins the big ones. That's got to count for something.
It does. He is. I remember seeing him when I first saw him playing golf. Was watching a European Tour event, which I tend to do after Thanksgiving. You know, you watch because our golf is mostly gone after that, and so I remember seeing this guy who looked like a Hulk making the golf club look very small. I'm going, who is that? And then when he hit it, he just hit the living daylights out of it. Well, turns out it was Brooks Koepka.
So you know who he is?
Yeah, I knew who he was before he got here.
Okay.
Of course, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, so that's our first live. No, Sergio's on live too. That's our second live guy.
Yeah.
Number 4, another live guy, Dustin Johnson. He has this incredible streak every year from 2008 until through now. He has won at least one tournament. The last 2 years, they've only been live events. I'm not counting those. But from 2008 to 2021, that's pretty incredible to win. That's and he got 2 majors, although he won.
The Masters in the fall.
Yeah, I got the Oakmont and he got the weird November Masters.
Doesn't matter. So, he got him. I'm always been impressed with Dustin's play. It just, you know, he just shows up. He wins here and there when he's playing. When he was playing on the PGA Tour, if he was in the tournament, he was usually on at least the first 2 pages of the leaderboard. And if he was any place close to the lead, often he won. I mean, he was really remarkable. And he didn't puff himself up and talk about what a great guy he was. I mean, you had to extract from him what he was doing with his game and what was important and all that kind of thing.
That's a good word. They weren't interviews, they were extractions.
Yeah, they were. But if you asked a good question, you got a good answer. So I tried to find a question that was not something that's, you know, oh, what did you have for dinner last night? Because I really don't care. So I want to know why his golf got better.
He made the most incredible transfer in a day. He went from being a draw player to hitting a fade, and that's what really turned his game around.
Yeah, which was incredible. And
nobody does that. That's your ball flight is your soul, and he flipped his soul over in a day. But
yeah, but that's how much talent he has, is that he was able to do that.
All right, let's move on to number 3. Always popular, Rory McIlroy.
Yes.
4 majors, bunch of wins. The only guy to win the FedEx Cup and the race to Dubai in the same year, which is a lot of zeros on a check.
Yeah.
On 2 checks. So I don't think what else is there to say about Rory. He's without Phil and Tiger, he's really the superstar in the game today. Number 1.
Yes, and he's such a good person. that it just really makes it easy to like him. I mean, it's not like winning all the time and he's obnoxious. He's winning all the time and or winning often and contending often, and he's a terrific individual. So I think he's good for everybody. He's good for himself, I hope.
But these are based on play, not good.
I
This is
know,
not the
but
good guy award.
I know, but it's easier to root for somebody who's a nice person.
Okay, well, then obviously number 2 is Phil Mickelson. Speaking of good guys, facetiously, he's made himself. He's really had some PR blunders.
He has.
You
He's
know,
hurt,
right
hurt
after
himself.
he wins we should still be celebrating him winning the
Oh,
PGA at just short of his 51st birthday, and
just
the whole
remarkable.
the whole live thing and the stuff he said and some things
Yeah.
he's done and some other news that's come out. It's been a PR disaster for Phil, unfortunately. And he made that great run at the Masters this year, came in second, which was a shocker. And he's it's hard for him to get good PR these days.
Well, I mean, it's his own fault, but it's too bad. It just is too bad.
And just the other day, he said, talking about this Monahan's memo and getting Liv and the tour together, he's like, Liv guys, we don't want to play in the PGA Tour again. Well, yeah, why would they? Why do you want to go to a tour where you can't compete? You're out there getting these free checks right now. Why would they want to give that up? That's why they went there.
Yeah.
So that's something that people haven't considered. Well, how do we repatriate these Liv guys? They don't want to be repatriated.
They left because they wanted
want the money machine to keep rolling. So
that's right. They're
not in any rush to come back.
They want to show up and get paid.
Yeah, maybe Koepka and Cameron Smith and a few guys can still win DeChambeau, but the rest of them, they don't want to come back kicking and screaming. All right, well, number 1.
Since you haven't heard from him yet. Ta-da-da!
Number 1 is Tiger Woods. 67 of his 81 wins and 13 of his 15 majors were in the 21st century. So
I was shocked when you told me that. Just shocked, because I always think of him doing so well, starting when he came. He won the Masters, and then it seems like he kept winning, but he didn't. He didn't win that much in the 1990s compared to what he did after that. And it's just that he was such a shock to everybody's system when he first showed up that you tend to think that most of his victories were in the 1990s, and that's untrue.
Well, it made me think that a list of the 10 best players of the 20th century would be interesting, because Tiger wouldn't be on it, I don't think. But that would be so hard.
That would be Jack Nicklaus.
The golf changed so much. I don't know how you can compare guys swinging hickory shafts with anything. Bobby Jones was great compared to who he played with, but was he, I don't know. How do you compare him with
you can't.
Somebody from the 90s with metal wood? I don't know.
You can't. It's just too hard. Like you said, everything changed so fast it was 100 years. Let's remember that. That's a long time. A year doesn't seem like a long time, but 100 years does.
Not on the list, Ricky Fowler. Not on the list, Brian Harmon.
Yeah.
Wyndham Clark.
Yeah.
Ben Curtis, Trevor Immelman.
Yeah.
Jailbird Angel Cabrera.
Oh gosh. Yes, but some of them did not win prolifically.
No, they didn't. You have to win some majors, or you have to win a lot of other things.
Yeah, and Tiger did.
And going back to your couples league.
Yes.
Bernhard Langer, 46 wins on the senior tour.
Well, before Steve Stricker on my rankings, it was Bernhard for years. I mean, they couldn't knock Bernhard out of the top slot because he just won so much.
Yeah, and by the way, where can people find your rankings online?
SeniorGolfRankings.com. SeniorGolfRankings.com. SeniorGolfRankings.com.
Yeah, what's that? Sounds like that one commercial. And Hale Irwin, most of his senior wins, 45, would be in the 2000s. So
No,
He would be
they're
another one
doing.
if you wanted to really do it. Maybe a more, I don't know, it'd be interesting list to mix everybody together, the men, the women, and the seniors. But again, you're comparing apples and oranges or
Yeah.
apples and armadillos, and I don't know. It's hard to do that.
Well,
That's the
and
job, is to be controversial and edgy. That's what I did here.
well, some people change how much emphasis they put on their game when they turn 50. You know, Bernard did not play very much on the regular tour. He played in Europe for the majority of his career, for his first career. And then after he turned 50, I guess he decided to play here instead of in Europe because after all, he lived here. And I mean, he just cranked out victory after victory. I was rooting for him to pass Hale, and Hale was very impressive when he and Gil Morgan were winning like 10 and 11 times every year. It was an incredible competition the two of them had going, and uh, they passed Lee Trevino's mark, which I think was in the 20 range of tournament victories, 20 to 30, and just kept on going. And Hale ended up at 45, and Bernard kept on trying to get to Hale, trying to get to Hale, trying to get to Hale, and boom, he finally did it. Heck of
And
a player.
of course, there was Iron Man Dana Quigley, but
That's true.
again, the senior stuff. That's another category.
Well, Bernard's won 2 Masters, and he's played a lot of Ryder Cups and had some joy and some sorrow at those.
All that
So
was in the '90s, though, so he didn't.
that's true.
But the senior stuff made me. I thought about it, but I decided to leave him off. Sorry, Bernhard.
It's all right. You picked who you picked, and the guys that you picked had won more majors
So,
than he had.
what are your complaints about this list? What's wrong with it? What should be different?
Other than I didn't do it first, I don't think that I have a
That's
huge
what's
number.
wrong with it. I got it.
I'll
I
be
think
honest.
that's the best reason. I didn't do it first.
That's right. Most people won't ever say that. They say, "Damn, I wish that was my idea." But it wasn't. It was yours. So,
Yep.
congratulations. You should hand out little. What did you say? Your shirt has the Jetsons on it.
Yes, the shirt has George Jetson and Mr. Space. You're
Safely.
playing golf on little flying asteroids. Got a little flying jet cart.
You should hand out little George Jetson statues for the
I
winner.
don't think Astro is anywhere on the shirt, which is
No,
disappointing.
he should be. Was
He
he the
was
Rutro
he
dog?
was the Scooby Doo ripped him off, by the way.
That's what I thought. He was the original Rutro, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember the Jetsons. Okay, you know what it's time for?
Four men's majors this year. Rank them in order of preference.
Me?
No, our guest. Yes, you.
I have to think a minute.
You got John Rahm at the Masters, Koepka at the PGA, Wyndham Clark, not the hotel chain,
I know.
U.S. Open, and Brian Harman, the deer hunter, at the
I
Open.
think
Yeah.
I think for me, 1 is the Masters, 2 is the PGA. 3 and 4 were such surprises. I would put them together in a tie. Because if you had looked at the field and just closed your eyes and picked out a name, you couldn't have picked Wyndham Clark or Brian Harman. Let's face it, no one would have. You would have picked somebody that you knew well and somebody whose track record you knew, and the courses and setups and whatnot just lent themselves to those 2 guys who won. And, congratulations to them for doing it because they played better than everybody else.
Wrong answer.
No,
Number
it's
1
not.
would be Brooks Koepka winning the PGA. That was the most exciting and dramatic. You had 2 guys who couldn't get out of the same fairway bunker on 16 that cost them the tournament.
Yep.
I mean, with a 9-iron? What are the odds of that? 2 would be John Rahm. 3, you got to give something to Brian Harman for crushing the field like bugs at Royal Liverpool. What a performance. And then I mean, even though there was no drama. And then Wyndham Clark,
There was drama there.
I don't know about, on one hand, the USGA is trying to roll back the ball. On the other hand, they set up a par 4 that guys can drive the green with an
Yeah.
iron. So there's a mixed message there. I wondered
Yes.
about that. And
Yes.
LA Country Club it looked cool on TV, but it didn't have any atmosphere because
They didn't let anybody go.
they didn't let fans in because they couldn't fit them in on that course. So
Right.
I'm not sure if that was
My
might have been a
opinion
fail.
is we may find out that LA Country Club is like Olympic, where the favorites don't win.
Well, I don't think we're going to have enough majors there to ever find that out.
Well, if it's 2 out of 2,
it's going to be a while before they go back to LA, if ever. I don't know.
I think they awarded them another one.
I think they did.
They?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. We'll be in the old folks home.
Yeah.
Because
that's okay.
One of us is heading there in a few weeks.
Are you saying me? I know.
Sorry, I used the wrong hand there because I didn't know where you were. Well, I think that's enough for one. I think that's it for the Golf Show 2.0, except for, yes, the shameless plug. Subscribe, like us, like Sally Fields. You like me. You really like me. Click like us. Click subscribe. You'll get the thing in your inbox so you can watch it and not miss a single episode. And maybe someday we'll get enough viewers to make 12 cents. I'm lowering the bar from 17 cents. That's it.